back. Moses Hershko Development, MHD Capital. We are with JB, right?
Jean-Baptiste.
John has been one of our top agents. He always brings us amazing properties. Today we are in one of the premier locations. We are in Bel Air, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not going to share the location, exactly the street address, but I love the location. There is a lot of developments going on the street. On the way going up the hills, I already saw a few other friends, developers that we partner with sometimes. Yeah, we want to check this one out. That's going to be an investment opportunity for MHD Capital. Yeah, let's check it out and see what's up. After you, Jean.
Thank you.
So this property is located in a very prime location in the, I like to call it Hollywood Hills, but we are actually in a very prime location in Bel Air. And as you guys know, Bel Air is one of the prime location for, luxury real estate. Properties tends to really appreciate in value. And that's why there is a lot of developers that, buy in spec type of properties, land for development or those type of property that require a lot of work, so we come in with our experience. We transform those properties and partner with our investors and sell them, right? So if you are accredited investor and you want to partner with us, shoot us a DM, investor, and we'll send you the information. Let's check it out. This is crazy. This is like, yeah, so it's all about the view of it, right? I mean, that's kind of what's cool about this whole property. Obviously, we are in a construction zone. The bottom line, when you see, this is like what I call not for the faint of heart. You know what I mean? This is for, you're not getting into a project like that unless you have the right experience. Obviously, the structure might be compromised. There is some details, obviously, electrical over the place. We have to get in with our engineering team, with our architectural team, with our design team, and really check all those components before we pull the trigger on something like that. For me, that's the bang for the buck, right? It's the incredible view. Like I always say, when you have the sun lit on your property, that's already kind of a good opportunity, right? Because you can go outside, you can create the deck, you can create an outside pool. Yes, there is some noise that's coming from the properties, but if you have good insulated windows and good insulation, you're not going to hear the noise. You're actually going to enjoy it when you want to get some action, when you go out to, to your balcony or to your pool. And I think the view of here is just tremendous. I believe you can even, is that like you don't see the ocean from here, right?
We should be able to see it behind those trees over there.
Yeah.
But we have clear Getty Center view, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is incredible, John. I mean, I just came from Santa Monica and it's cold. It's like 60, 65 foggy. And over here you got a beautiful sun, it's unbelievable, right? That can be a vacation on from the beach, which sounds funny, right? So let's see what we can see, you know what I mean? Because, obviously right now we're standing on studs and we just have the plywood to cover the studs, so we, just kind of for extra protection, right?
Yeah.
For me, it can be a pretty sight sometimes because the opportunity, I start seeing the opportunity. I'm already in my mind, I'm seeing the wraparound pool, the edge pool. I mean, Jean obviously is experienced in this neighborhood, right? What do you think, let's say new construction, because that's what it's going to be, right? It's going to be new construction. What a new construction will sell for?
You could sell that in the 2,000 a foot if it's done nicely.
What is the lot size?
I'm not sure. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. We can check,
Most of it is downhill, not really usable anyway.
It's not usable?
Not really. We'll look at it from the lower level in a few minutes, but most of the land is what you see right here.
Okay, got it. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So it seems like that's the lower level?
There's another one, yeah.
There's another one. Yeah, I would like to see the plans. That would be nice to see like where the kitchen is and kind of where the, the master is, right? Okay, let's check it out, yeah. Yeah, it's important in those type of projects to understand who is the design team. I always say the pillar for success, right, in buying real estate, the location is super important, right? Location. They always say in real estate, having the right team in place. When you buy a property, you have to make sure you get it in the right price. We make money when you buy it, not when you sell it, right? Because I always say you don't speculate, because a lot of investors, they speculate, that they're going to buy it in a certain price and they can make a lot of money on it, right? But, again, construction costs, design costs, permit costs, things tends to be more expensive and get even more expensive with time goes by. So it's super important to get into the property, which means buying it in the right price and then, having the right team, in place, right? Design team, architectural team, engineering team, and of course, the builder, the GC, the developer, to make sure, everything's moved forward, right? Let's go check out the downstairs, which might be actually the kind of the first level, I guess, right? Because again, this type of properties, when you design it, you want to kind of create a wow factor when you come in. You get the view with the pool, you kind of probably have an open concept, which kind of expose you right away to the excellent view. And that's kind of really what this property it's all about. You know, it's the view, it's the location, and just the proximity. And it's actually pretty close to the city. I mean, it's, you know, you have the hill, but it's not like, you know, if you're like very deep in the hill, you still like, you know, I came from Santa Monica, 25 minutes from the beach, right? I mean, with a little bit more traffic, it took me like 35 minutes. Not a big deal.
No, for sure. You're 5 minutes from the freeway entrance down there.
You're not deep in the valley over here. So location is great, right? Let's check out, yeah.
We got to go from the outside.
Oh, from the outside? Okay. Okay, this one, it's actually, this floor is kind of in a better condition. You know, honestly, if the framing is kind of decent, if the structure, you know, I don't know how the foundation, but if the foundation is solid, the framing actually looks solid in this area. This is like new framing, right?
Yeah, I think they rebuilt already a big portion of it.
This seems to me pretty decent.
We just need to look at, because right now it's holding on all those temporary supports.
They were ready to put LED lights, you know, they got the electrical.
See, the whole frame is, I don't know if that's supposed to stay or if it goes away and you pour concrete on stuff or...
Yeah, I tell you personally, I mean, there is definitely a few possibilities over here to kind of tweak the program, so to speaking. I don't know if this thing was designed for smart home automation, sound system, all kind of different capabilities that, you know, usually I like to incorporate in my properties, right? From what I see right now, you know, I would say there is some potential upgrades that can definitely elevate, you know, things to the next level, the way we like to do it. But I think the opportunity is good. Actually, it's better than expected, you know, from what I saw upstairs, you know?
I mean, there's obviously a great potential. You just need to have the vision and make sure it fits your financial criteria.
It's all about the money, you know, it's all about the final numbers, Jean. You know, I think for me, I like to be very aggressive on the purchase price, as always. What I do like about that situation, you know, I like to have a motivated seller. That's kind of the most important thing. If you have a motivated seller, sometimes it's not easy in this market. A lot of people are not motivated, you know, they have a low interest rate, but you know, this kind of property is not for an end user for the most part. It's for somebody like me that, you know, have the experience and, you know, is not afraid to, you know, go down and dirty, right? And get into something like that, you know. But again, you know, you want to be able to get into the right situation in the right numbers. I think possibility is great, actually, you know. Yeah, I'm definitely give it like a much, you know, my perspective of here that, you know, we can definitely do something really, really nice with it, you know, with this property. And I mean, it seems like they did some progress, right? So
I guess that's where a staircase would be.
Yeah, but see now, like look at the property. I mean, it's actually, I like that picture of here. I mean, just, you know, vision the possibility. This kind of view, can you imagine like this whole place like finished nicely and just like have all the nice finishes and the features, you know? I mean, that can be like a very kind of big opportunity over here. I mean, I love the fact that, you know, you have all that kind of high level structure. It's a tri-level basically, right? Tri or four?
3 level.
3 levels. Okay, 3 levels.
And I would think in the plans they flattened the roof, so you have an extra rooftop.
The only concern that I have that, you know, the structure is compromised, you know, because you're on the hill. You need to make sure the post and everything, like all the infrastructure, it's very solid in the ground. That's kind of the only concern, right? And also insurance, because insurance these days, it's kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, so we had a meeting yesterday in our office, and one of our partners, he has a couple listings at 26 million each, and the quote for insurance is 400,000 a year.
So insurance right now, luxury real estate, insurance is going to be expensive. He's mentioning $25 million range, 400,000 a year for insurance, right?
That's a high fire hazard zone, so highest level of fire danger.
Because, you know, actually, like they're lucky that the insurance even willing to insure it, because a lot of insurances, you know, companies right now, they're not willing to insure, or they're not renewing policies. They will accommodate the one that they have to because of, you know, I guess government interference. If it's up to them, they're running away. They're not insuring anybody. They're not giving money, you know, to anybody. But, you know, it's kind of a very interesting situation. I'm actually looking, you know, constantly looking at insurance. I always talk about insurance in my business. A lot of people don't know. When you're a property owner, when you want to remodel, you want to renovate, you want to do new construction, a lot of people don't check credentials and insurance from the provider, from the general contractor or the builder. You want to make sure they have enough insurance. I actually carry $10 million insurance for my construction business, Moses Hershko Development. We have $10 million. You can imagine how much I pay for insurance, but it gives me and it gives to my clients the peace of mind that I can work on their properties, right? And some of those properties are in the $5 million range, or in the 10, in the 20, in the $30 million range. You need to have the right insurance. God forbid somebody injured, God forbid something happened, there is a fire, you know, something is going on, the alien invade, whatever. I mean, you need to have insurance, right? So if you work with a general contractor and they have only the basic stuff, you know, the 1 and 2 million, they need to save money, they can't afford the insurance, it's not gonna work, man. So you wanna make sure. I mean, this property is magnificent. It's huge. The land is spectacular. I mean, I can't say anything wrong about it. I mean, I honestly cannot say anything bad about it. Dude, look at it. It's massive, man. It's huge. And you have the hot tub in the back. Man, this is the American dream right here, man. I love it.
The two higher levels were more bedrooms and extra rooms, but now we're going into living space. You see, this is one of the caissons. So obviously there are caissons all over the property, so which is great because you can use that.
You have the what is it? Oranges? Small oranges. Yeah, man, this is nice. I always say when you have a lemon tree or orange tree, that's a good sign, you know?
You have plenty of space here to put a little pool. You just need a small retaining wall. You can put it on the side. You don't have to go full front with new caissons or stuff.
Yeah, right. And also the neighbor, it's a good sign because look at it, your neighbor has got something very similar. I mean, obviously older property and so forth, but like, I mean, the fact that you have a neighbor, you know, I mean, it goes kind of pretty deep, you know, like the land goes deep, you know? So, and this is massive. This is great.
Open living, dining, kitchen.
This is an entertainment space.
Indoor, outdoor. You put those gigantic doors with no, like frameless, and you put the same floor inside, outside. You have like that feeling that there's no limit altogether.
You see this one, what they do over there, it's all concrete.
Yeah, and you see that extra pad, it's the pool.
Check it out, this property, you see what I like, what I was thinking the same way. When you're in a specific location on this one, you're up the hill, you're kind of in a very specific location. These days, a concrete foundation, that's kind of, it's definitely much more expensive, but you know, it's peace of mind. It's peace of mind. You know, that concrete foundation right there, combination with metal framing and concrete foundation, it's just much more safe. You know, the cost is going to go higher for the construction, but that's your investment, you know, as far as like, you know, resale value and just for, you know, safe measurements and pretty much everything that, you know, makes sense, you know, in those kind of properties. To do it in the right way these days, you know, I will definitely go with something that have much more, you know, safety kind of built in, you know, mechanism, right? So that's kind of a good example, you know, on something like this.
They probably have like 50 caissons to support all that.
Yeah, you must have those things, right?
There's $1 million in caissons. Caisson has just those giant concrete pillars that go deep to grab the bedrock, I mean the rock foundation. So depending on your geological study, you have to dig deeper or not that deep sometimes. And so you need, in those hillside areas, you need to go to the rock. So that's how those projects starts. Like you get a geological survey done and then you put caissons everywhere. This one has some. So this is one already. Oh, there's one. You see all those support beam, metal beams, they're on caissons. So you have plenty of caissons here. Sometime when you expand or you tweak the house, you might have to put another one. If you wanted to do a pool here, you might have to do a couple more to solidify that land. The bulk of the work is done here. The floors have all been rebuilt. It's all new. If the city approved that, that means those caissons are more than enough and they're up to code.
You know, sometimes I had a situation where the building department approved things and they were not done right. I had those kind of situations also. That's why personally, you know, in my projects, I like to do a third-party inspection. You have the city, you have my own team inspecting it, my engineering team, but also a third-party inspection, right? Sometimes you find defaults, even if the city inspector approve it, because some of those guys are not experienced to a level that's required sometimes, right? Especially with, you know, in shortage in labor, you always want to double confirm all the information. But it looks good, man. It looks like, you know, possibility. It's here for sure, yeah.
And that's gonna be a really nice spot. Like when you walk into the house, you open the front door, you're gonna have like bedrooms, staircase, bedrooms again, and then you walk down and you arrive here and it's gonna be like fabulous. So that's the spirit of that house. Yeah, so there's plenty of caissons everywhere. So you're fine. There's caissons here. You could probably, you would have to reevaluate with an engineer, but you could probably put a little pool here. With those caissons, the pool should be okay. I mean, they'll look into it.
If I would build this property from scratch right now, I will do exactly what they do. I think you should be able to, that looks bigger, right? That looks much bigger. Yeah, so this one next door, the agent predicts it's around $15 million construction budget. What do you think is the square footage over there?
I'm not sure, but from what I see, I think this house is going to be in the 5,000.
So let's say 5,000, so it puts us about 3,000 a foot to build it. 3,000 a foot to build.
That concrete engineering multi-level is extremely expensive. So just the concrete on that house is probably close to 6-7 million.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, when you build, sometimes people get an estimate, they get a proposal, you know, they're trying to compare, you know, but they don't even know what they're comparing. And I always tell people, you need to compare apple to apple, right? If you do a framing new construction, if you do concrete engineering and you have all those details, I mean, we're talking sometimes millions in the difference. It's not $100,000. We're talking about millions in the difference sometimes. You want to make sure things things are done right. So, you know, and by the way, not, you know, everybody that give you a price for something have the experience actually to do it. So you want to make sure that, you know, you're working with people that have experience in that specific trade, right? If you have a concrete contractor, you know, landscaping contractor, framing contractor, you want to make sure they are very, you know, they are experienced, because guess what? A lot of people will take a job, you know, any job, even if they're not experienced, you know what I mean? Just to take the job, just to make a profit. So it's very important, you know, to get the right information. I mean, obviously the average homeowner is not a construction expert and he doesn't know what's, you know, what to look for necessarily. So that's why I always advise to have an owner's rep, somebody that represents you as the owner. You know, you can be an investor or end user. You want to have someone that represents you as the owner, you know, to make sure things are going in your direction, and also the details. For example, for us, you know, I have a lot of subcontractors. You know, I think I don't know if I have 3,000 these days, 3,000 vendor subcontractors, right, that we're working with between Silicon Valley, South Florida, and Los Angeles. So, you know, having the right team, again, having the right property management, construction management in the same time, it's super valuable, you know, to make sure the project is successful, right? Because, you know, you can get stuck, you can get into situation. It's happening to developers and investors, not just for, you know, a property owner that wants to remodel. We just said, you know, me and John, we're just putting an offer in Silicon Valley, in Hillsborough, California, a very prime location. The property owner, they bought it to live in it. They wanted to build it for themselves. They can't finish the project, right? It's too expensive. They can't figure the design. They can't find the right builder. They can't find the right design team. And we're going to pick it up probably for, you know, for a very good price. And we're going to make it very, very special. And we're going to, you know, put the right family in it. And we're going to make the neighborhood much better with a much better property, right? So we're going to actually make that situation much better for everybody. And we're going to make sure we take care of the previous owner. You know, we don't want anybody to suffer. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure it's fair for everybody. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people taking advantage with the Pacific Palisades. We are in Bel Air in LA. And I have a few clients that we already start work on the design, by the way, for the new build. And unfortunately, a lot of people taking advantage, either trying to buy the property that got affected by the fire for, you know, very cheap price, or they trying to, you know, just like not give people the right information, right? So it's very important, you know, to work with the right people that have good intention, and not just in it to, you know, for the quick buck, you know what I mean? Let's go back. But yeah, man, you know, everything looks kind of pretty interesting, you know, I would say. Possibilities, right? Possibility is pretty great. But I think in this kind of a property, I have a specific vision, you know, I'm going to share with Jean what my plan is if I'm buying something like that, you know, that I would like to do. I think there is a lot of things that I can do in a property like that. For me, you know, I would just consider it as like almost like buying the land. So I can, you know, do it in a way that kind of makes sense, but I have to, you know, make sure the number makes sense after all. So if the number works, you know, we might go forward. You know, if the number doesn't work, we're going to look for the next one.
So this type of property is much better for us. We have so much more leverage and firepower. I'll be in a business dinner from 5:30 to 9, but you know, I work for you until midnight every night. So
thank you. Good to see you. Thank you again for John. Another amazing property, actually, right? It doesn't look that amazing right now, but the opportunity is there. The possibility is endless. We're gonna, you know, work on the numbers, and you know, we'll keep you guys posted.